It's just like sometimes you don't want to be carrying a lot of cash on hand. It's like um, it's always a good idea to have some cash.
Livermore is
on
pretty
you.
safe, though. Ninth safest city in the U.S.
Yeah, it's relatively safe, but you leave Livermore, some of the other areas in California, especially the Bay Area, it ain't safe. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm glad we moved from the East Bay to Livermore because East Bay, either you live in a really, really ritzy, high-end area, or you basically some of the other areas aren't so good. Anyway, yeah, but yeah. Dave Ramsey, I've taken a lot of advice from him. It's like
Mm-hmm.
he's a pretty clever.
He
guy.
doesn't like gold, which I don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think gold and silver are fantastic. In 1907,
Yeah.
uh, an ounce of silver could buy 11 loaves of bread. A dollar could buy 11 loaves of bread, and a tenth of an ounce of gold could buy 11 loaves of bread. Okay.
Interesting.
In 2023,
What year was that? You were
1907.
1907. Okay.
Fast forward to today,
Yeah.
an ounce of silver buys 11 loaves of bread.
No,
A dollar buys a quarter of one loaf.
Yeah.
Quarter loaf. Maybe if you get a good deal, maybe half a loaf.
Yeah.
Maybe if the bread's expired, maybe you can get a full loaf for $1. Maybe.
Doubtful.
One loaf.
Yeah.
A tenth of an ounce of gold can buy 111 loaves of bread. So gold is on this ridiculous bull market, and
Yeah.
maybe the banks who own all the gold have convinced the world that it's worth more than it is.
Yeah.
But the point is, gold and silver hold the value. Silver has held it perfectly. They're suppressing silver
Yeah.
because I think they want to, they want to use the silver for industrial purposes.
Sure.
They don't want to overinflate it, get arbitraged. And there's also a lot of paper silver on the paper market, so
Yeah.
they can suppress it with. There's these situations right now where 35 people have a receipt to
The same,
amounts of
Yeah.
silver.
Well,
And,
the
and in the case of a shortage, what's going to happen is 3% of the holders are going to get their physical silver delivery, and then the other 97% are going to get cash, cash equivalent. So they're going to get paper cash. But the thing is, in the event of a shortage for silver,
Right.
the cash is there's obviously a cash problem. That's why everyone's going to silver. So then silver is going to go way up. So silver is like these mini lottery tickets, but it has a very high floor, so it's really good for long-term saving.
Yeah.
So personally, if I already have an emergency fund, I want to get long saving. Proverbs 21 verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
A wise man saves for his future, but a foolish man spends all that he has.
Yeah. Yeah, for a while there, an ounce of silver, way back, was like $4, according to the Koch brothers. But it's like, but the thing is, though, if you wanted to buy a coin, though, you're still paying for the
Premiums.
The premium, yeah. As far as they had to stamp this coin.
But you can resell it with premiums.
Yeah. But gold has intrinsic value because it's inert.
It's what?
Gold is an inert substance. It
Right.
does not corrode or anything. Because even silver tarnishes over time.
Really?
But gold, it maintains its properties.
Mm-hmm.
You can melt it, you can smack it, you can freeze it, you can do whatever you want to it, and it still comes out gold.
I heard they started taking the gold out of the Olympic gold medals. It used to be pure gold.
Well, yeah, I think it used to be, I don't know if it was a full 24 carats, because that's pretty soft,
Okay.
So usually it's like a 22 carat or 20 carat thing with the gold like that, or it's 24 karat gold plate on it, but I don't think that was true. I think they actually had the actual stuff. but it had to be in a harder. It's
Yeah.
alloyed with something else to make it keep its shape or whatever and stuff. 24 pure gold. Yeah, you can take your fingernail and push into it and deform it. You know what I mean? That's why people used to bite on it with the, make sure it wasn't brass or something else. But usually,
Do you think money brings happiness?
No, well, how we categorize it is important because obviously you cannot function in society without income.
Right.
And like back in the early days of the church, they learned that very quickly that, the church was in debt for a long, long time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was. By the
Is
time,
that why we're hoarding so much money?
No.
We have 110 billion in the bank.
Oh, it's more than that.
Really?
Yeah, I was talking to a guy who's
180?
former FBI agent when I was in Billings that's in the ward. And he's guy knows a lot about a lot of things, and he says one aspect of it is 100 billion.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually close. The entire holdings is probably closer to 400.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And then we're the only church that pays taxes.
What?
Yeah, because we pay tax because we have the
Because
money.
we have for profit.
Well, because we have guys. The church
We have
has
cap gains.
No, well, they're constantly investing money,
Right.
And stuff, and so that's where the taxes come in.
Wow.
Because there are guys that I remember about 20 years ago, somebody telling me, they employ a lot of people who are, outside of the church and stuff, like the architects and stuff like that. Some of those guys are members, but I mean, there are people who we interact with that are members and stuff, but they have a team of investors that one guy was saying that his job is to invest $1 million a day,
Mm-hmm.
No, it was $1 million,
Now, is it true that the church records used to be completely public, and now they're not?
Well, I mean, they can request it, and the church always turns up roses whenever they're because they get audited all the time.
Yeah.
But they've never ever found anything out amiss. Anyway, because I mean, they know down to the penny. I mean,
one time I asked the missionaries, I said, "We have so much money. Why don't we give money to Africa? Why don't we give money to the poor countries?"
They just gave away $2 billion, the church, and they donated it to the what is it? The World Fund for Hunger or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But they vet these nonprofits, and they find the best ones out there, that most agree with like how the church runs its programs, and they recently donated $2 billion to work on and solve the world hunger.
Well, what the missionary told me was, we're trying. The problem is, we keep sending it over there, and all the leaders of the country steal all the money, and they buy guns with it.
Well, that's not true, because the thing is, the stuff the church works through, because there are groups or whatever out there, and they just drop the supplies, a crate,
Mm-hmm.
and airplane, send it down a little parachute and stuff, and they don't know who gets it. Usually it's the warlords that'll be there to take it away from the people, even if the people are the first ones to it. The warlords will, shake it out of them, and they scare the people so bad that the people just don't even go there. They know better than to mess with one of those boxes. Or like Somalia and some of these places where it's just a hellhole.
Jeez.
But yeah, so...
Do you know anything about North Korea?
Well, only that after Trump got in office, he piped down an awful lot. I think...
Talk about Kim Jong-un?
Yeah.
He's
had
like 4'6" or something.
yeah. The interesting.
He's like a little dwarf.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Would you say Kim Jong Un is more wicked than Vladimir Putin?
yeah, probably so. Putin is a bad dude. He's a bad player. But did you see the interview with what's his name? The guy that used to be on Fox News. Oh shoot, can't think of the guy's name. Todd or
Tucker Carlson?
Tucker Carlson, yeah. He interviewed Trump the same night they did the debates. And that interview from him interviewing Trump was a far more interesting watch than the debates. Debates are kind of a lark. There's only one guy on there that I think will go anywhere, and that's that Ramaswamy guy. He's very smart, and I don't think he intends to be president. I think he intends to be a running mate to Trump, because he's a huge Trump fan.
Are they just going to rig the election again?
Well, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
I think 2020 was, or
well, I thought they were going to rig it for Clinton against Trump.
Oh, this next go around?
No, the
one before.
No,
back in 2020. Because I mean, the thing is, they did some nasty stuff in 2016. It's just that they so underestimated the vote, because they figured with Trump running, Hillary's going to walk away with it. They just figured, so she didn't do much campaigning or anything, because they were just so confident that she was going to get it. And this 2016 was supposed to be the big takeover for the liberals. They were going to take the country over at that point. And when she got beat by a landslide, I mean,
well, the problem was all the electronic voting machines were malfunctioning, and they were giving Clinton millions of votes to begin with.
Right,
they turned it on,
they were cheating.
And then
but they just miscalculated.
And then if you put in your
it flips it.
Yeah, if you put in your voting ballot backwards, it gives it to Clinton, and if you put it the other, if you put it in wrong, backwards.
Yeah.
Backwards or upside down. Yeah, upside down goes to Clinton, and then backwards went to Clinton as well.
Yeah.
And then if you live blank.
Yeah.
Clinton.
Yeah. Yeah, and so there was a.
So they're like, this isn't going to work. Let's use paper ballots.
Right. Well, and then in 2020, they just got nastier.
Yeah.
And they did what you just described. They used those machines.
To
hijack the vote.
The betting market for Clinton was pretty crazy. She was a 2-to-1 favorite early, and then she was a 3-to-1 favorite, and 10% of the. I'm sorry. Yeah. Everyone was betting on Trump. 10% of the bets were on Clinton. 90% of the bets were on Trump. 75% of the money was on Clinton. 25% of the money was on Trump.
In the 2020 election?
In the 2016.
Trump
the
2016?
Trump against Clinton.
Yeah, no, they didn't think...
And then the day before the election, Clinton was a 16-to-1 favorite. So you had to bet $160 to win 10. And Trump was a 9-to-1 underdog the day before.
Yeah.
And then once he won the first state, it was like even odds. And then
as he
ended up winning.
Country,
He ended up winning. And
some people
so 90% of the people obviously didn't know that it was rigged. They just thought Trump was going to win, And then the insiders and the rich people obviously knew it was rigged. So they said, okay, let's take all the poor people's money. So they put out all their money. They put out millions of dollars. Like there were sites that were limiting how much you could bet on Clinton, but they said you could bet as much as you want on Trump. And there was actually a European site that paid everyone out early. Assuming that Clinton was going to win.
Wow, boy, they make a lot wrong move.
Yeah, and everyone withdrew their money because they're like, well, like even the Clinton people, they're like, well, she could still lose,
Yeah.
So they withdrew the money, and then the sites were unable to get a lot of the money back, so they lost millions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, they're pissed for a lot of reasons. One is this guy knew all their secrets. He knew all their baloney. He had watched it for the last 25 years. and or more than that, ever since the 80s. And he knew that they were all corrupt. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
going into the 2016 election, Congress, both sides, were the least trusted people in the country. It was all of Congress, both sides of the House and the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's interesting because that's why I don't like to vote for a politician. I think this guy Ramaswamy, who's a businessman, a very good one,
Yeah.
he's very smart, and Trump, that would be a powerhouse duo. I mean, Swami's very, very up on all the laws governing government. Very, very well studied in that. So he says you
Do you
have
think
to
Gavin
be.
Newsom is going to win?
I hope not. But the thing is, we are in the last days. You're seeing more fires. You're seeing more floods. You're seeing more hurricanes
Yeah.
and other things and stuff happening that is outside the realm, and it's only going to continue to get worse. Now it's that part of it. I mean, I like what was said today at church about things going. You know, as far as a church, we have a lot to be thankful for, because there's going to be a lot of exciting things happening with the church as we go forward. The reason for all those billions of dollars, I think, is to build up the city of Zion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because by the time we get there, there'll be mountains. Well, right now it's just hills and valleys. Because.
Do you think if there was an economic collapse, that they would use it to help the members of the church?
Oh, when they go to help people, it's worldwide. They operate on a global scale.
Oh, okay. There's no special treatment for the members.
No.
Well, there's the Bishop's Storehouse, right?
Yeah,
What's
I mean, there's the Bishop's Storehouse, and really, it's anyone can go in there. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
President Witt, he oversees that in California. That's his job. His day job is managing these Bishop storehouses. And anyway, yeah, that. Whose BMW is that?
That's ours.
Hmm.
It's my brother's.
Oh, nice car. The parts are expensive for those.
We got that
suckers.
1970 Chevy Impala over there.
Huh?
1970 Chevy Impala. Did you know we had that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you want to buy it?
Dude, I don't know anywhere to put it. The actually,
Store of value. Goes up in value.
when I retire, I'm probably going to buy something. I'm not sure just exactly.
Trying to sell it.
Oh, yeah?
Look for a buyer.
I don't know. I can ask people about it. It's a 4-door Impala.
Yeah, it is.
Does it run?
It needs a little bit of work done.
Yeah. I mean, it could probably be brought up to running condition. Just need to probably change some of the wires and the plugs and stuff. But new battery maybe. But yeah. No, but this thing is interesting with the political situation in our country,
Mhm.
because at some point these people are going to take over. I don't think it's going to be a takeover by China or a foreign country, but I think it's going to be the people leading our country. It's where it's going to get worse and worse. And because like it says, the Constitution will hang by a thread, which means that
The Red Horse Prophecy.
yeah, and like you said, it'd be the elders of the church that carry it off.
You think what is the mark of the beast?
We don't know yet.
Is it going to be in your? Would you let something in your right hand or your forehead? A chip?
Probably wouldn't be too big on that one.
That
That does
you
not
wouldn't?
sound like a good thing. Yeah.
What about your left hand, Gary? Start there.
No, left hand.
No?
That's my backhand. Give him the CTR biff. Yeah.
What if Nelson took it? It's just a
That-
microchip.
If the prophet did,
Yeah.
I'd be more inclined. I'd be more amenable
Uh-huh.
because he is our prophet, and the Lord is not going to.
I think I would need a lot. I think
Yeah.
I would need that and a dream probably.
Yeah, I would definitely be on my knees praying about that for an answer. Because before I'm going to go do that thing, because I did the thing with the COVID,
Uh-huh.
because he was on there, getting the vaccine and stuff, and I thought, well, you know what? If he's a fairly healthy guy in his 90s, he doesn't have too many conditions or anything. It's not like he has diabetes or anything, but he, so I guess if he got the shot, I'll get it. But in the case of this other thing, if they decide to start putting something on my hand or my something, I'd have to see the okay by the prophet before I step into that one. It's like, and I would want to know for sure. Definitely be on my knees. Hey, is this the way we should go, And if I'm feeling a stupor of thought, I doubt I would, though, if the prophet was selling it, because if he's false, the church is false. That's all there is to it.
Right.
And I know enough about the church that ain't the case. And so yeah, if he did it, that'd probably be the only thing that would make me even slightly amenable to it. But
What about him and the entire quorum of the 15 altogether says we should get it?
well, yeah, if it's that would be a lot easier decision.
Okay.
But if the prophet,
What if Nelson is like, yes, I'm doing this. Uchtdorf, yes. Holland, yes, and then Bednar says absolutely not.
No, I'm going bed. No, for me, it's the prophet. If the prophet is, if he's giving his okay to it,
Uh-huh.
that's probably would be enough for me.
Wow, even with Bednar saying no.
Well, we've seen what's happened in the past. Half of the apostles fell away in Joseph Smith's time.
Wow.
Joseph was true to the thing all the way to the end. He and his brother Hiram. But there were
So there's been malfunctioning apostles, but in the
Yes.
past, but no malfunctioning prophet.
Nope, not one. Nope. They all served.
Well, I feel like it'd be harder to malfunction as a prophet because whatever you say kind of goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the apostles are they doing their own thing or?
Well, no. I mean, when they make decisions, it has to be unanimous. The first presidency and the quorum of the 12, they have to be in complete agreement.
Okay.
And likewise, the quorum of 12 has to be in complete agreement to pass on up to the first presidency before they're going to look at it. And so, yeah, it's pretty well vetted. Nothing's going to get past it, but what the Lord wants to happen is going to happen as far as the church is concerned. And how he does that, we'll soon see. But I see right now, the thing we need to be focusing on is developing charity. And that includes a lot of facets. Because within, how we talk about charity in the church, what is it?
Pure love of Christ.
Yes.
Romans 7, 1 Corinthians 13.
Now, here's the thing. I want to show you something. This is, let's see here. Okay, oops, I always hit that button instead of the one I want. Okay, here we go. Yep, church. Pregnancy. Book of Mormon. Moroni 7. And okay. Let's see here. Looking for where it starts. I love chapter 7 of Moroni. It has a lot of stuff in it. Okay. This is talking about faith and miracles, and then, yeah. Let's see here a second. Okay. And it spends a lot of chapters on faith. Oh, here it is. Okay. Alright, confesses by the power of the Holy Ghost that Jesus is the Christ, he must needs have charity. For if he have not charity, he is nothing. Wherefore he must have charity. And charity, here's all the things about it. Charity suffereth long, is kind, and envieth not, is not puffed up, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, rejoiceth in truth, beareth all things, believe all things, hopeth all things, endure all things. Anyway, so you look at what that is, all of that is entailing. There's a lot of stuff there. Yeah. Huh. And somewhere in the scriptures, I seem to have read where the pure love of Christ casteth out all fear. Is that a thing? Pure love?
God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind.
Yeah, but it has something to do with courage. Within this thing we call charity, it embodies a whole litany of attributes. Not easily provoked, kind, all these different things. Forgiving, obviously, and stuff. But all that and more. It entails courage and a willingness to do the will of the Father, regardless. You know. So yeah, there's that whole thing. Yeah. And so I think back to what we were talking about, why the billions of dollars. I think we need to become. They cannot start building Zion until we become a more charitable people, meaning charity in the sense of what Moroni is talking about. We need to become closer to that pure in heart thing, and we're not there yet. We're still. There are some that I think have reached that point, but there's a lot of us that we have a bit of work left to do. And if I suspect things, it's probably going to take us another 25 or 30 years, probably. Maybe not. Could be wrong on this one. But maybe, 15 years, 20 years, maybe, before the church on that wide a scale is operating on it with that. We have to be getting ready. We need to be getting revelation for ourselves. We need to become almost independent on that front, and be quick to observe what the prophet and the apostles teach us, and what our stake leaders and board leaders counsel us to do. And the better we get at that, the closer we'll get to building the city of Zion. Because it will be built, and it's going to be built, whether we're ready or not, for those that are worthy of it. Did I just contradict myself? I think I did. Yeah. Because, all the members probably may not be where they need to be when that comes down. But if you look at the odds that the Lord has given, you read the parable of the 10 virgins. 5 were prepared and 5 weren't. They represent the church. 50% will walk away. Or maybe not walk away, but they won't be prepared the way they should be for what's coming, and they will not see the wisdom in it. And that's a thing about people when they fall away. They lose the Holy Ghost, and they're left to themselves to figure things out, and then it doesn't really work so good. What you got there?
This is a book of quotes.
Oh.
But 98% of them is just me. It's quoting me. It's me writing my own quotes. Some of it comes from God, some of it comes from man, some of it comes from angels, and some of it comes from the Holy Spirit. So I write them down, and I share them with mostly righteous men.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, then I cross it out. And if they hate it, and if it's really bad, or if I get multiple people who don't like it, then I cross it out harder.
Those may be the best ones.
And then if someone likes it, sometimes I'll put a +1. Sometimes I'll write their name.
Yeah.
I've shared it with you in the past, but I'm always adding to it when I can.
Hey, how's your dad doing?
He's in financial ruin right now.
Really?
Yeah. He's behind on rent. He's got 8 days left to pay it. He needs $2,800. And
oh my gosh.
yeah, he went on vacation, and I gave him my credit card, and I let him spend as much as he wanted. And then he comes back, and then I had a root canal and stuff, so I didn't really have that much money, but I loaned my dad all my money to pay off the credit cards, because we would never pay interest on the credit card, obviously. But and then I called my friend Chris, and I got a $5,000 loan from him, and we spent all that.
Uh-oh.
So, so we owe him 5,000, and then my dad owes me like 3,000, and and I pretty much am out of money, so I don't have any money. So we're just trying to figure out how to, you know,
My gosh,
I guess
yeah,
borrow
you
more
guys could
money.
lose the house.
No, I don't think we're gonna lose the house.
Really?
Yeah, because we're gonna get a reverse mortgage,
Oh, okay.
which is a lot better than it used to be in the 90s.
Yeah, I
In
know
the 90s,
somebody
they
else.
you used to lose the house, and then you would stay in it with no monthly payment. But that's what it used to be. So then
Yeah, now you just
they would
draw
steal the
money.
house.
You as much as you need. It's not.
Well, you keep that. You get a new loan, and then
Well, right.
basically-
They determine the agreed value, I guess, of the house, what
Yeah.
it's worth, and then they base it off of that. And
then you keep the house as well.
you keep the house,
Yeah.
and you can keep drawing money against the house, basically.
Yeah.
And so a friend of
And there's no
mine,
monthly payment.
they're retired. They've been retired for quite a while, but his pension stuff isn't enough to really see him through. So fortunately for them, their house's agreed value is $1.8 million, and they're in their mid 80s. And anyway, so far he's taken out about $80,000. You know, because most elderly people don't spend all that much money. Most of it goes to their grandkids and that kind of stuff. But yeah,
Proverbs 13:22.
Yeah.
It says, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children."
Yes. A wise person does that. But yeah, anyway, that's one way of keeping the house, though, and but then you want to be frugal with whatever money you bring. When you take a withdrawal out of that money that's available through
Yeah.
the house, you definitely want to be frugal with how you spend it. Now, these people I know, they'll never even come close to the one. Well, now it's what, $1.25 billion or $1 million, I think. And so that's an awful lot of money for a couple of people in their 80s. I mean, they probably spend $50,000 a year. And so that 1.2 million would be, well.
Do you think God is more scary than he is funny?
More scary than? Well,
Because he's obviously infinitely funny,
Yeah.
and he has infinite number of jokes, or at least access to that.
But I think he's scary to people who disobey him.
Right.
People who are wicked and
Right.
stuff. Especially people who harm others.
Okay.
But
how scary exactly is that?
Oh,
Because in Christianity, it's like infinite scariness.
yeah. God's infinite, but I think in that respect, to those people.
But I feel like in Mormonism, it's more like the way that you'd fear your dad.
Yeah.
In Christianity, it's like how you fear Kim Jong-un and Putin and your dad put together.
I think it's because they know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
He can.
And just the infinite depths of hellfire.
Right.
It just keeps getting scarier and scarier.
Have you ever seen that video about the parable of the not the talents, but of the wicked servant? Have you seen that video?
Not in church.
Not in church?
Not in a Christian church.
Well, the church, it's one of the Bible videos.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here.
He starts beating his fellow servants.
Yeah, his fellow servant. Let's see, videos and images, Bible videos, teachings. And Jesus Baptist. Let's see. Jesus Christ. Parable of the. Let's see. Parable of the sower. No, not that one. Let's see. Parable. of the Good Samaritan. No. Even, no, that's not it. Let's see. Ten virgins, parable of the talents. I don't think that's the one I'm looking for. Let's see. Just let the rose might. Okay. What's this one? No. I know it's in here. First interview, that's not it. Son. Oh, no, that's not it.
What are you looking up?
I'm looking up the parable of the, or the story of the wicked servant.
Do you have ChatGPT? You don't have ChatGPT on your phone?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
Why not just go to Google?
Because it's on the church website here. If I can just find it. Okay, let's see. Please come to church. Okay. Please turn on the mount. That's a parable.
Well, you want to just, I mean...
Yeah. Feed my sheep. Virgins. Let's see. It shows something on. No, it's not it. Dang. I can just go through all these.
Are you looking for the verse in the Bible, or?
I'm looking for that whole. No, not in the Bible. I want to pull up the video of it because
You're gonna show me the video?
Yeah.
How long is it?
Oh, it's just a few minutes. It's just, but it's about the. So no, that's not it, is it? Where's the pair? There's the name of the pair of the wheat and the tares. That's not it. There's the parable of wheat, mustard seed, and leaven. Okay. Contest. The house divided. No. The cones. So, no, not that one either. Let's see. Silver. Some more. Silver. Good shuffling. Above the last sheet. Like that one. There's a shuffling. See. This is in the vineyard.